I'm excited to have all of you hear about eBay's leadership from our CEO, John Donahoe. I know it's going to transform the way you look at Magento, eBay, and the future of commerce. It's truly a privilege to welcome the President and CEO of eBay, John Donahoe.
So good morning. I am thrilled to be here. I have heard so much about this conference from the last couple of years, and I am fired up to be here with you this morning. Are you guys fired up to be here? I can get that at an eBay developer conference. I've heard that this conference is different. Are you fired up to be here? All right, I know you can do a little better. You people in the back. Make sure we do it. All right, everyone, are you ready? Now! All right. That's what I'm talking about. So look, what I'd love to do this morning, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we see in the future of commerce, what we across eBay Inc. worldwide. And then I'll talk a little bit about our company, what we're doing, and where Magento fits in. Because Magento is a really important part of enabling, I think, an exciting future in the world of commerce. You know, over the last 3 years, I've spoken to a lot of audiences, and I've said, you know, we see an inflection point in retail. We see a world, I've been saying that we see a world where we'll see more change in how consumers shop and pay in the next 3 years than we've seen in the last 10 or 20. And that's felt like a bold statement. And at the very center of it was the fact that mobile devices had been blurring the lines between online and offline. All right? What we used to call e-commerce and what we used to call retail. And then those lines were being blurred. They were becoming fuzzy. And that a new kind of retail was emerging. Not the world of e-commerce or retail, but the world of commerce. And I'll tell you, I sit here today saying I was wrong. The lines aren't just blurring. The lines have been obliterated. And what we have seen in the last 6 months is this is not just an evolutionary change. This is a commerce revolution. This is not about the future of retail anymore. This is about what's happening today, day in, day out. And in this revolution, and I don't use the word lightly, in this revolution, like all good revolutions, the individual is at the center. And the consumer is in charge. If there is any doubt about it, have no doubt. The consumer is now in charge in this world of commerce. Technology is enabling it. The consumer's in charge, and it has profound implications. Let me give you an analogy. How many of you here own an iPad or a tablet? Okay? How many of you consume your media, your news, your video, your entertainment? How many of you consume your media in a fundamentally different way today than you did before you got your iPad? Yeah, me too, right? I want my news when I want it, how I want it, where I want it. I'm not going to wait for my newspaper to be delivered in the driveway. I'm not going to worry about trying to find a magazine if I have time running through an airport. I'm not going to let the networks determine when I want watch the shows I want to watch. In the media world, I'm in charge. And so are all of you, right? You're now in charge. Guess what? The iPad is less than 3 years old. It'll hit its 3-year anniversary next week. So in a 3-year period of time, the media industry has been completely transformed, and the consumer is now in charge. And all the content providers are trying to meet consumer needs. Well, I'm here to tell you the same thing's happening in retail, the same thing's happening in commerce. Technology is now enabling consumers to be in charge. And that has profound implications. Now, what's exciting and what is different than it was 2 or 3 years ago is retailers are recognizing this. Retailers, big and small, are fighting back. And they're recognizing that no longer can they just sit there and wait with a great store and kind of hope someone walks into their store. Or no longer can you just have a cute website and kind of hope you drive a little traffic to your website. Merchants of all sizes are realizing that they need to go out and reach consumers where they are. And consumers are increasingly using multiple screens. They're using their mobile phones, they're using tablets, they're using their laptops. Increasingly, they're going to be using their TV sets, storefront windows, walls in stores. Screens all over the place are going to act in a way that engage consumers. And retailers and merchants need to reach those consumers in that way. Omni-channel, multi-channel. That's not consumer language, but it is the language that merchants and retailers are using because they've got to reach their consumers and they've got to build relationships with them on the consumer's terms. And what's emerging is an experience for consumers that combines the best of online and the best of offline. The best of online, scale, choice. You have the world's selection. Efficiency, you get the best prices. Convenience. But increasingly now, the best of offline is coming in this new commerce. Shopping's a social experience. Shopping can be an emotional, engaging experience. And now, merchants have the opportunity to provide an experience that is the best of both, that is the best for consumers, online and offline, an engaging experience. Those are the merchants that are going to win in this commerce revolution. Those are the merchants that are going to engage consumers and build loyalty with those consumers over time. So it's a period of profound change, a period of exciting change. And this is what we're driving our company toward. In simplest terms, eBay Inc., if I had to say one sentence of what our strategy is, we enable commerce. And we enable commerce by building consumer applications that give consumers what they want, when they want it, how they want it. And one of the core fundamental tenets of our company is we partner with merchants of all sizes to help you compete in this new retail environment, and we will never compete with you. Not everyone can say that. We exist to partner with you to build that future and help you grow and drive your businesses to serve those consumers. And we do that through four core businesses. The eBay Marketplace, 110 million active consumers around the world, $70 billion of volume, 60% of it outside the US. Through PayPal, 120 million active users, $150 billion of volume, half inside the US, half outside. Both huge global platforms. GSI Commerce, a company we bought 18 months ago, serves 180 of the largest brands and retailers and meets their commerce needs. And then our external facing platform, of which Magento is at the very core. And I'll come back in a few minutes and talk about the role Magento plays. And then we have been very aggressive. Over the last 2 years, we've acquired 20 different companies, small companies, technologies, capabilities, to build out the full commerce toolkit so that you have access to what you need to attract and engage consumers, to convert them, to receive payment, and to deliver and retain them. 20 acquisitions around mobile, around capabilities around social, around data, all the capabilities you need. And we will continue to be an acquisitive company. When we see a capability we think can help our merchant partners win, we'll get it. We want to have the best toolkit in the world. And I'll tell you how we measure our success. I stood in front of, we have our biannual, every 2 years we stand up in front of the investors, our external investors. And that was 2 weeks ago. And I said, let me tell you how our company is going to measure whether we are successful over the next 3 years. I didn't start with revenue. I didn't start with earnings. I said, you know what? In 2012, our company enabled $175 billion of commerce volume. And our goal in 2015 is to enable $300 billion of commerce volume. And what is so cool about this, and what fuels our company, is we can't be successful unless you are. If you don't sell, we don't win. And so our company exists to enable your success, large and small merchants all over the world. Now, I want to just spend a minute. We see 4 battlegrounds of where this commerce revolution is playing its way out. And I want to just talk for a minute about how we see them and give a couple brief examples of what we're trying to do to help you compete in these battlegrounds. Mobile, local, global, and data. Let's talk about mobile. Oh my goodness, have you noticed this mobile thing going on? I'll tell you, we have. We launched our first mobile apps, eBay and PayPal mobile apps, 5 years ago. Over 120 million downloads of these mobile apps. People are using them not just to buy, but also to sell. 4 million people have registered on eBay on a mobile device. Last year, we did $13 billion of volume on mobile devices. And this year, that'll be $20 billion of commerce volume on eBay, and we'll do $20 billion of mobile payments volume. People are buying 10,000 cars a week on the eBay mobile app. It's stunning to see how mobile's grabbing hold of the consumer. But that's a little bit of mobile 1.0. I will tell you what we are seeing and what I think is the consumer experience of the future, which is a multi-screen experience. Increasingly, consumers aren't starting and stopping their shopping on a smartphone or on their tablet or on their laptop. They're using multiple screens. They're using multiple screens in their lives. Here's a stunning piece of data. eBay, $70 billion of volume. 21% in any given week, roughly 20% of eBay's users are multi-screen when they buy something. And those 20% account for almost 45% of sales. So consumers that are engaged in multiple screens buy twice as much. They're more engaged consumers. They're twice as valuable. The implications of that are profound. As you think about reaching your consumers, you have to reach them where they are, and increasingly, they have screens that access the web everywhere. That's an opportunity. That's an opportunity to build relationships with consumers where they are. We're working with some retailers. We're putting touch screens on their storefront windows so that when they're closed at night, people can buy things. Putting touch screens inside the stores. Using mobile to bring people into the stores. It's a multi-channel, multi-screen world that's coming, and mobile's at the center of it. Local. As I said, the line's blurring, the line's being obliterated between online and offline, and even local retailers are now embracing this. Local retailers in all industries. And technology's enabling them to solve problems. How about a problem like lines? How many of you have walked past a Starbucks or a Jamba Juice, you've seen a long line, and you think, I'm not going to wait in the line? You ever had that problem? How many people like waiting in lines? Isn't it fun to wait in a long line? Yeah. Well, here's what Jamba Juice is doing. Now you go on the PayPal app in certain areas in California, In the PayPal app, you find the closest Jamba Juice, and you order your smoothie right there. Jamba Juice's menus on your smartphone. And then you say, what time do you want to pick it up? You want to pick it up in 10 minutes? Or you want to pick it up when you finish this meeting in an hour and run downstairs to the Jamba Juice? And then at that time, when you walk into Jamba Juice, you don't wait in that line. Your smoothie's waiting there on the counter. You walk right around the line, you pick it up, and you go. No lines. You like it because you aren't waiting. Jamba Juice loves it because they get more volume. Technology is enabling it. That exists today. So local shopping will be transformed, and there's enormous opportunity for innovation in local commerce. We're doing a lot in this area, and I would say to you, there's a lot of opportunity for you to help local retailers in all different forms, whether they be restaurants or fast food or hardware stores, or help them compete in this commerce environment. So mobile, local. Global. Here's just the math. There are roughly 2 billion internet users today in the world, and in the next 3 years, that's going to turn into 4 billion. Twice as big. And guess what? 90% of the new internet users are coming from brick and emerging markets. And many of those new brick and emerging markets, those new internet users are going to want to buy stuff, and they aren't going to have local alternatives. So they're going to turn global. They're going to say, where can they get what they want? I'll tell you, at eBay, we are very focused on this. Roughly 20% of our business is cross-border. Here's an embarrassing fact. We discovered that we were the #1 e-commerce company in Russia last year. And we don't even have a site in Russian. Go figure, right? Russian consumers, the ones that were online, were looking for someplace to buy something. And eBay.com in the United States, or eBay.UK, or eBay.Australia, or eBay.Germany if they spoke German, that's where they were going to buy stuff. And PayPal enabled them to pay for stuff. And they were finding stuff they couldn't get locally. Well, you know, once fooled, twice dumb. We're now launched a site in Russian, eBay Russia. And we'll be doing the same in all the brick markets so that our merchant partners can reach consumers all over the world, can reach those 4 billion internet users. And I know many of you, whether you're merchants or you're supporting merchants, want to reach consumers all over the world because that's growth. And especially new consumers in markets that may not have the goods and items that you're selling. The next 3 or 4 years, it is truly going to become a global marketplace. That's part of this revolution. And last but not least, data. There's a lot of talk about data. And the truth is, data has not really impacted the consumer experience yet. It's a good experience online, it's a good experience on mobile, but it's not great. And the capacity to provide a great, personalized, engaging, curated, social experience is enormous. This is the new eBay homepage. It's called the feed. What it allows you to do is put the things you like. What are the hobbies you have, the kind of items you like searching for, things you like. You put them in, and out of eBay's 400 million listings, we bring out and show you in a very visual way those things. And when a new one gets listed, it pops up on your feed. It's an engaging way to interact with eBay. It's a new way. We're finding that consumers that start here buy more than ones that just put stuff in a search box. So it's simply a way we're beginning to use our data. So mobile, local, global, data are 4 of the battlefields in this consumer revolution. We're committed to building capabilities that help your merchants, customers, compete and reach consumers all over the world. Now, innovation is something that we all are driving, and we all know is critically important. The pace of innovation is accelerating. I've never seen anything like it in my career. I will tell you, in our company, we're measuring the pace with which we can innovate. This is one measure. This measures on our eBay business the number of innovations launched each year. And by really deeply committing to enabling, investing in our technology and investing in innovation, we've been able to double the number of innovations we're having, and we're cut the cycle time in half. And I know that that is one of the key themes of this conference. It's the art of commerce. How do we help enable you to help your merchant partners innovate faster? Now, I want to just say a couple words about Magento and how eBay came to bring Magento into our family. And I'll tell you, it was like love at first sight. It was like when we first met Roy and we first met the Magento team, it was like coming home. Let me just remind you, if Pierre Omidyar, the founder of eBay, were here, how eBay got started. Commerce platform, fueled by a passionate community of developers and sellers, merchants, who collaborated enormously, taught each other, and that ecosystem around eBay is what built the business. The ecosystem built eBay. eBay enabled it. We talk about empowering and enabling. And eBay wouldn't be successful, and PayPal wouldn't be successful if it weren't for tens of millions of merchants and developers who are making their living and who are driving incredible opportunity in the eBay platform and the PayPal platform. And so then we see Magento, and it's like, this is the eBay of today. This is the eBay of the future. What Roy's built and the Magento team. It just felt so appropriate. So it was a no-brainer to bring Roy and the Magento team into our company. And I will tell you, they have the full force and weight of anything they need from our company to ensure that they can continue the ultimate vision of enabling your success. You know, I've heard some wonderful stories about some of you in the audience. And Cora, is anyone here from Cora? Okay. So here's the story I heard about you guys. That you, over the first 5, 6, 7 years of your business, built a nice business. I heard you just celebrated your 10th anniversary. And you built a great business. You had roughly 15 employees, a classic entrepreneurial success story. And then 3, 4 years ago, you started using Magento. And that partnership of using Magento to enable and grow your business. And in the last 3 years, the business has grown 400%. You've gone from 15 employees to 75. That is cool. That is why we exist. That's what it's all about. Ron's the founder. Ron and that team are a success story, enabling that success. And that's what Magento is all about, as you well know, of partnering with small merchants and large merchants to help you succeed, help you grow your business, help you reach consumers and grow a successful and sustainable business. That's what Magento is about. That's why we bought Magento. That's why we are here. And one of the things I'll just wrap up by saying that I think so cool about this conference and about Magento. Roy has been telling me so much about this conference over the years. And he's just said to me so many times, you know, Magento's nothing without our community. Our community makes our company. And at the very essence of that is the developer. The developer, he said, John, the developers are our rock stars. Whether you're a developer, yeah? Who here's a rock star? Now, I've heard some of you actually get to practice your rock star status tonight at the event, but that's another topic. But whether you're a developer working for a large retailer or a developer at a systems integrator or individual third-party developer, you are at the essence. And we are crystal clear as a company at eBay Inc. and at Magento. We're not driving innovation. We're enabling it. My fear is we become the bottleneck of innovation. We're enabling you. You are the ones that are driving this commerce revolution. The difference is whether this revolution happens and merchants succeed and win in it, or they don't, is not going to be us. It's going to be you. We're committed to building great platforms, global platforms. We're committed to trying to do everything we can to give you the tools you need to help drive the innovation to make this commerce revolution happen. So that's what we're about. That's why we're here. That's why we are so excited to have Magento be part of the eBay Inc. family. And so thank you. We're excited. I think you have a great couple of days. And I'd like to invite Roy back up on the stage, and we'll have a bit of a conversation. Thank you.
Thanks, John. That's fantastic. Appreciate it. We're going to be set up over here, so let's. Take the right side. All right. Thank you,
Are you
John.
going to be
That
sort of
was-
like Oprah Winfrey now?
That was inspiring. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your
My
past.
childhood,
Yes.
in third grade, Billy punched me in the nose. I've never really recovered. And my sister bit me.
That's tough.
Yeah, 30 years of therapy have helped, but it's still not quite enough. But you can read about it in the book someday.
We'll look forward to it. So first Imagine conference, your first really sort of exposure to this community and this fantastic ecosystem that we've built. What do you think?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, the energy in the room. I mean, look at this. The room's packed. We don't even have enough room. That energy, and you know, I was a little worried when I first said, "Are you fired up?" That it sounded like a crowd I could hear elsewhere. But by the end, you got a special crowd here.
That's
I'm
great.
I'm excited about the next several days.
Fantastic. This is a special crowd, so I'll agree with that. You know, you talked about commerce revolution in your keynote here. Does this perpetual state of evolution in that sense, does that continue, or is there an end state to that?
You know, I wish at times there was an end state. I don't think there is. I mean, technology innovation is accelerating. It's not slowing down.
Sure.
And I see the pace of that continuing and growing. And so I think this revolution's here to stay.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure there's a new normal.
Yeah.
And so what I think it means for our company and what I think it means for others is that capacity to continuously innovate, to have the flexibility and agility to continually evolve and move, to realize you're going to have to integrate other people's technology, not just your own.
Sure.
And keep up. So I see, that's why I use the word revolution, because
Yeah.
I think it's going like this, and I don't see any end in sight. You know,
So-
maybe someday Moore's law will slow down and stop, but that ain't happening in the next 5 to 10
It's
years.
going to continue. Now, you spend a lot of time with the merchants and brands and retailers, some of
Yeah.
the largest in the world. How are they coping with this level of innovation and the acceleration of it?
Well, you know, Roy, it's really interesting. I would say there's been a really significant change in the last few years. I would say 2-3 years ago, I talked with retail CEO after retail CEO, and I would say many of them were scared. We're wondering, like, oh my God, are we being disrupted? You know, is that big bad company in Seattle gonna Walmart us?
Yeah.
And what has been so interesting is watching over the last 2-3 years how these retailers and merchants, large and small, are now fighting back. They're innovating, and they're building. They're embracing new experiences with their consumers. They're integrating their mobile experience with their store experience. They're driving change, and so, you know, I think this is a very exciting period in retail, and I think you'll see the leading retailers really differentiate themselves.
Sure.
by getting out there and innovating and building relationships with their customers and evolving what a store experience is, what a seamless omni-channel experience
Right.
is. So the pace of innovation is really picking up. I see it.
And just given how important mobile is to us at eBay, how important is it to the retailers in the market, and how are they sort of coping with the evolution of mobile, which is happening fast across multiple devices and screens? How do you see that play a role?
Well, as you know, at eBay, we've invested a lot in mobile. We saw it early. We invested hard, and invested, and we didn't worry about things like cannibalization.
Right.
Right. And today, we have $20 billion of mobile commerce, mobile payments volume, and we don't know if it cannibalizes or not. But what we do know is that our consumers that use mobile are more loyal, they're more engaged, and they buy more. And retailers are figuring that out as well. They're trying to figure out how in an app-based world can they reach their consumers where the consumers are starting to shop.
Yeah.
We've had many retailers list on eBay, not necessarily because they want to sell on eBay, but because that's where their consumers are starting to shop, and they want to get their inventory where consumers are starting to shop. And then we help them encourage driving traffic into the store if you want. So I think merchants and retailers are looking for partners to help them embrace mobile in an experience, both for outside the store, but also there's some cool mobile experiences building for inside the store. You know, where the store clerk knows who you are. You walk in, and instead of a store clerk you'd never met trying to help you, they say, "Hey, Mr. Rubin, how you doing?
Yeah.
You bought that pair of jeans last week. Can we look at maybe you getting a jacket that matches?" And the store clerk knows who you are, knows your sizes. You may be having your own device. So I think mobile is transforming the consumer experience outside and inside the store.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. If you've had to point to one accomplishment, we've heard of many great things here in the world of eBay in terms of where the investments are being made, the innovation is happening. One accomplishment for this audience that you're the most proudest of over the past few years, what would that be?
Oh, I'd say re-injecting innovation back into eBay. You know, 5 years ago, eBay had lost some of its innovation mojo.
Yeah.
Was a little bit of a function of having so much success. And so we've worked hard to try to re-inject innovation and have the kind of agility and flexibility and paranoia you have to continuously innovate.
Yeah.
And you know, because you can't, things are moving and they're moving faster. So that capacity to innovate, that capacity to stay agile, you know, you face it, we face it every day, right? The Magento of 2 years ago has to look very different than the Magento, or 2 years from now than the Magento today, and we're committed to making that investment.
Yeah, and I think the theme of agility and flexibility is something that this community knows very, very well.
Yeah.
So that's
well, you provide the agility and flexibility. That's sort of, a big company can enable it.
Right.
We can't do it. And so our job is to enable the agility and flexibility and innovation that you all are driving, right? Whether it's on Magento, whether it's on eBay, PayPal, or increasingly all of them coming together.
Fantastic. Last question for you, John. Imagine it's 3 years from now, and you're back here on stage for Imagine 2016. Hopefully all of you too, by the way, will join us. You're back here for Imagine 2016. What's the one message you'd like to be delivering in 2016?
Well, first of all, I'd like Imagine 2016 to be in the Staples Center.
I like that.
I mean, and you know what? You guys can have the front row seats, you know, those like $1,000 seats on the floor. We'll let you guys because you were in early, but I'd like it to be 20,000 people in the ecosystem and it be truly global. Maybe we have one over in other parts of the world.
Sure.
And you know what? Look, success over the next 3 years is just what I said. Are you growing your businesses? Are we enabling $300 billion of volume together? And then we're talking about going from 300 billion to $1 trillion. And you know, that's the opportunity. The opportunity is there. Someone's going to seize that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I want that to be us. I want that to be all of you enabled by us. So that's what I want in 2016.
Amen.
And I'm looking forward
John,
to it.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
It's been a pleasure. We're going to go down there.
Good.